All right. Green
We're
room. In the green,
green
room. We are back.
You
all right
I
over there?
kind of, as much as it's nice that it's dark later, it doesn't impact you.
It's
It
not.
does.
No. What are you talking about? It does impact me. It sucks that it's
Oh
dark
yeah,
later.
true. Good
Like for
point.
me, it impacts me more than anybody.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, good
it
point.
went from me being
Well, I
dark
meant,
when I went to bed to it being light when I go to bed.
well, what I was gonna say is, I prefer it lighter in the morning and darker early.
As someone,
Maybe it's like an older person thing.
well,
But
I do because of my schedule. I didn't before, but now I am fully like it's not even a question
like
which of the
when
two times I like.
you get
better.
up at, I don't know, whatever, 3:30.
Mhm.
But like when I get up at 6, it's like pitch black now.
Yeah,
Whereas I
know.
feel like a month ago,
Yeah, and
it was
I'm with you, buddy.
yeah.
Preach.
So which would you pick if you could pick permanent? You would pick.
Well, now, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know what I would pick if I didn't have this shift, but with this shift, it's not even a question. I would pick what it used to be.
So what time do you go to bed?
Well, so I go to bed at like 7 o'clock or 7:30.
Yeah. Now
Yeah,
it's like
but
right
now,
around.
now,
Although the sun does set right away.
now the thing is, it won't be that big a deal for me in a week because I'm gonna have to stay up to watch the Phillies again.
True.
So,
I like how you say have to.
I do.
Just
It's
can't
my
allow
job.
yourself- No, I know.
It's my
Yeah,
job.
I know.
Yes,
It's
I
just-
do think.
yeah.
If I let myself think any other way,
It's just funny to pitch you like
yeah, I have
7
to.
o'clock clocking in.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah. I'm like, time to go to work, buddy. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Let's kick ass. Even though you think ass is a curse word. All right.
It's a top 3 curse
It is-
word.
it's
It's just
you're-
crazy to me.
such a
I still won't
ridiculous
say
thing.
it on the air.
I know.
Like,
it's
I don't
so
feel
funny.
comfortable. I don't know when I can say it, what context.
Doesn't it hit you that, you know what, let's start the podcast.
Okay.
Hey, hello. It is the Go Birds podcast presented by the Bet Parks Casino and Sportsbook app. Get to Brandon Graham in a sec, but let's continue.
Yes.
So if you don't tune in for the YouTube, we do this thing called the Green Room right before we start the
Good
YouTube.
name.
It's a great name. We let everyone kind of filter in to, not use the term. And then we talk for a few minutes, then we start the pod.
Yeah.
So to carry this conversation over, because it is a long time
It's a
pod
long time
conversation, but I'm still just flummoxed every time. Elliot thinks ass is a top 3 curse.
I even
word.
think saying it now, you should say earmuffs. Like if there's
we can say it on the YouTube though. Like we're not allowed to on the radio. You can't
know.
say
It
the
just
S
doesn't-
word, the F word. Like you're not allowed. We
Right,
would
no, I
get
know.
fined. I can say ass on the radio.
I just think that's wrong. I don't know how else to say it. Like I don't think it should.
Why
be
do you
that
think?
way.
Like, but
I think growing up, it was maybe just in my like
it
little
must
world.
have been just
yeah.
in yours.
I feel like I wasn't allowed to like say it in school.
and maybe not as much, but either you certainly couldn't say S or F in school. Like
I feel like you could more say S, but maybe I'm
what?
wrong.
No, definitely not. Again, Tucker over there, Mr. YouTube Don't Curse guy.
No, I know.
He's like, go ahead and say ass. Doesn't
His
matter.
favorite conversation.
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
My friends actually call me Mr. YouTube No Curse Guy.
Yeah. It's a
The
good
only
name.
reason I don't curse on the pod is because
Should get that on a
You're very
jacket.
welcome, Tucker.
Yeah.
I do it for you.
Get that on
But
a jacket.
Tucker's fine with us saying.
That's fine. I'm just
All right, let's
not morally. I'm morally opposed
I just
to
am
it.
flummoxed by it.
Yeah.
From ass to not an ass.
Yes.
How's that for a
To a
second?
very nice.
Yeah, and we'll get to Becton. We haven't talked about the Becton stuff, but I think today, obviously, only
Yeah.
one place to start. Shout out to our guy, man.
Crazy.
My favorite Eagle of all time, Brandon Graham. Think about it this way. I mean, he has been an Eagle since 2010. Like, I wasn't in this business when Brandon Graham
Dude,
got
I
drafted
think
by
he's
the
the
Eagles.
last Eagle on the roster that I didn't cover being drafted.
Like Emily and I had started dating a couple, like a year before. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
I know.
Like a year and a half before. It's nuts how
Yeah.
long this
Well-
guy was. 2007 we started dating, so I'm like fudging it a little, but you know
No,
what I mean.
regardless, yeah.
Like it's so much has happened in our lives. You and I didn't. Not just that. You and I would not like really know each other. Like I had, we'd
for like
interacted with a
5,
phone
6
call.
years or whatever.
Yeah, like 7 years
Yeah.
or 6.5, 7 years.
Dude,
after
I hadn't
Brandon
even
was drafted
graduated
Eagles.
Temple.
This is crazy.
Although
man. What a career.
I
What
should
a
have
run.
graduated by then. But
You should have. Yeah.
I was 2 years late on it. I was
What?
a super senior.
What a career. I mean,
I
for
know.
this guy, and obviously we know the way it started for the whole Earl Thomas thing, that Chip moving him outside, the injury, the whole thing for like, if you had asked any of us in 2012, 2013, like, how long you think Brandon will be here, we wouldn't have said, oh, he's going to play the most games in the history of the franchise.
Dude, it still
he's
doesn't.
going to be one of 4 2-time Super Bowl winners as an Eagle. Like, it's so crazy what this guy's career is. It's just wild to think.
It's just crazy. It's been 15 years.
Mhm.
Like, even though I know, I mean, I really only, obviously I knew, like, I followed the Eagles prior to BG getting here. But like, in terms of my Eagles, like, life, I mean, BG's always been there for a lot of, like, once I started covering the team and like really like diving in, like, he's been there the whole time. And I think, well, there's a bunch of different ways to go with this, but I do think, let's start with the player before the person.
Okay.
So I think the player
hard to disassociate.
I
the two.
know, but I feel like there's a lot to say about the person. So
Well, the person's the best.
yeah. So, but I think we underrate him a little bit.
The real quick, the phrase that always gets thrown, you hear it, so many times in your life, like amazing player, even better person.
Yes.
Like never more true than with Brandon Graham. Like he was a really good player, a nice player. He is an amazing human being.
Yeah. Well, and to just quickly, like with Kelsey, like I think that applies to Kelsey too. Kelsey probably at his height,
was a better
player,
yeah.
but it is crazy. The two Eagles, I mean, I know Fletcher retired too, but like to lose Kelsey and Brandon
in back-to-back years.
Like, I don't know how you disassociate them. Again, I know Kelsey's a better player, but for me, like, they're even
in terms
like,
of their
yeah, like they are
what they meant to Philly.
Yes,
and all these
exactly.
Things, yes.
But as a player, I mean, I think he was underrated as a player. He got off to a rocky start. He was never like, 12 sacks, 13. I get that. But he's third all time in sacks. He's played the most game in an Eagles uniform. He's won 2 Super Bowls. Like, I get Reggie is a better player than Brandon.
It's not even comparable.
Right. No,
I'm not even in the same. Trent Cole was a better player than Brandon.
Reggie was like, but when it just comes to like defensive linemen, I think of that are Eagles, like it's Brandon for me, even though he's not the best player. Like 15 years, third in sacks, which I think a lot of people wouldn't guess. I know there's a bit of longevity in there, obviously.
There's a lot of longevity.
Yeah, I get that.
I mean, he only had 1 double-digit sack season. So
no, I know, but he had a few with 8, 9.
Yeah, but the point is, he was never great. He was never a truly great player. He was a really good player.
I disagree with that. He was never like top 10.
He was never great. He was never the best player on his own team.
But he was great against the run.
He was a really good player.
Yeah.
There's a difference between great and really good. Like Brandon Graham will get no Hall of Fame votes. Like he's not even a discussion for it. Like
I agree.
Fletcher Cox probably won't get in the Hall of Fame, but they will talk about it. Jason
Fletcher
Kelsey
was a
will
better
get in the Hall of Fame.
player.
Lane Johnson will get in the Hall of Fame. Brandon is the worst of those 4 players just as a football player. But to your point, I actually think he's the most meaningful Eagle of all of them. Like,
that's what I'm trying to say.
I get it. That's what I'm trying to say. So that's the point is I don't think you can really disassociate the player and the person and what he means to the franchise. Again, like one of 4 people with 2 Super Bowl championships. That's it. In the history of the franchise, he is such a meaningful. I think that. So you had a tweet yesterday that really stuck out to me. And again, I think he was a really good player. He might be the number 1 all-time Eagle. It's like him and Dawg.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I think Kelsey's there.
I think Kelsey's there too.
Yeah.
So up there. But I think
it's
PG,
those 3, and then there's
PG
a gap.
passed him as an Eagle, just purely as an Eagle
by
winning the second,
okay,
by playing the most games. By I think if you think of who's Mr. Eagle, I think it's Brandon Graham over Kelsey. And I agree, Kelsey's high there.
Yeah.
But I thought your tweet yesterday, it's a person too, but the tweet about you just see how many people are posting their pictures of Brandon Graham shows how
100%.
And so I think that Brandon. Like there was something about, and maybe it's his story too. Maybe it's that his story is more Philadelphia than any of the others as well. I mean, Lane Johnson was awesome from the jump. Fletcher Cox was awesome from the jump. Kelsey wasn't, Kelsey got his best years where it is then. But Kelsey was still like.
Kelsey also had a dip.
He had a dip.
Yeah.
But he was still pretty good throughout whatever. Like Brandon Graham had a real we don't want you to becoming the most accomplished in terms of games, all the stuff, Eagle of all time. Like, I think the story jives with us too. I think it all just flows together to make him like in a lot of ways the perfect Philadelphia.
Well, and too, like it just stuck out to me so much yesterday. I'm opening Instagram and like every story is like, yeah, here's when I met Brandon. Here's when I met Brandon. On Twitter, here's when I met Brandon. Like, and I've said it a billion times, but I feel like I have to say it again. I mean, you've seen it too, having worked for the team and also being at events with Brandon. But like, I see Brandon at Chickies every Monday night. And he will talk to every single person that's interested there. Like literally, he will stand there for an hour. The line will be 50, 60, 70 people deep, every person. And it takes like a minute for each person because it's not just like cycling in and out. And what I think is so cool, we talked about this with Kelsey, and it feels like just yesterday we were doing the Kelsey retirement pod. But I think they're so the same to me because if you've never met Brandon or Jason, you definitely from afar, like they seem like great guys, like they seem like you'd meet them and it would be awesome. But I think they're both the same. And what makes them both special ultimately, and why I do think they are like Mr. Eagles, is because when you meet them in person, it's even better than you would think. Like, and that's just, you can't say that for everybody, like I do shows with a lot of different players. I see players out in a lot of different events. And for the most part, the Eagles do a great job having nice people on the team. So, but Brandon is just a step above them.
He's a step above it. And Kelsey is what you expect.
Yeah.
In terms of just pure niceness, Brandon is a step above Kelsey even. Like Brandon we talked about before when I do my, and you love to be like, well, is he like Evan Tenaglia is the nicest human being I've
exactly.
ever. Like, I consider Brandon when I think about that. Like, I actually was like, well, is Brandon Graham's in the running for nicest human being I've ever met? Not nicest athlete, not nicest famous person, nicest anybody. Like, he really is that genuinely nice and thoughtful and caring. Like, and Kelsey is all those things, but like Brandon Graham is like, again, like he is a cut above everybody, like me. He's a nicer person than I am, and I'm a super nice guy. You're a super nice guy. Brandon's
Tucker's
nicer.
Okay.
Like Tucker, Tucker's got an edge to him.
Yeah. Tucker would win a fight before,
without a doubt. Tucker's got a little edge.
You think James would win a fight between the three of us?
No, I agree.
I probably would.
James would black out. Yeah. But like,
I've got that emotion, the high end emotion.
So I did want to share this story because I think it really kind of like speaks who Brandon is. So this is an Eagles staffer that posted it. And he wrote, like, he put a picture of him and Brandon, and he put, to Brandon, thank you for being a source of strength for my family after my mom passed away. I'll never forget you calling me the day we laid her to rest, the video you sent my dad to lift his spirit at Christmas, the check-ins at the facility to see how I was doing, or how you'd seek me out after wins to remind me she is here with us. You have no idea the magnitude of your kindness to my family. We will forever consider you a part of it. Thank you for being you, BG.
I mean, come on, dude.
I mean, like, seriously,
like next levels.
And like, that's the Brandon I feel like we get to see. You got to see before I did, and I've got to see the past few years more. Just like the kindness, and really for no reason. Like it doesn't benefit Brandon to do these things.
He doesn't do it.
I'm phrasing it poorly. That's what I mean. Like, Brandon,
there's no ulterior motive to it. It's not so he's looked at as nice. It's not so people think it.
Right.
It's who he is.
Yes. 100%.
Well, I've told this story a bunch of times in the past. I haven't told it in a while on the pod, but if you're a new listener or whatever, like he did that with me. Like, not now that level with the mom dying and stuff is
right.
But like for me in the business, when I started, one of my first jobs was working for the Eagles for 3 years with Spadero and doing all the behind the scenes stuff and all that. And I used to go in the locker room with a little recorder, and I used to ask players like, what's your most prized possession? Or who's your favorite player growing up, or some, dumb question. And you know how players can get, especially when they're getting asked a lot of questions about football.
Especially star players.
Yes.
Like, even if Brandon was never a great player, he was without question.
They don't particularly want to answer my questions, and they will do it because they know, and I'll take whatever. Brandon not only would always answer my questions, was always super nice to me, would always be like, yeah, what do you need? What do you need? Whatever. When I left the Eagles, I thought it was just, in the locker room. I didn't know these guys at all. Like, he didn't know my name. Like, I was just like, hey, can I ask you a question? It wasn't like they got to know me. I'm at another radio station. I'm producing a morning show there. Brandon was in studio for like an interview. He walks in to go into the studio. He sees me through the producer's glass. Again, he definitely doesn't know my name. I didn't think he knew who I was.
Yeah.
Like, walks in here and he goes, I'm so happy to see you living your dream, man. It's so awesome to see you doing. Like, because he knew not only that he knew what I wanted to do, he knew me better than I thought he did. And he gave me a big hug. And he's like, I'm so excited for you. It's so cool. Like, who does that, man? Like, and for me as a young person, in my career, like, that mattered. That meant something to me. That like lifted me up. Like, he is that kind of person.
Well, and yesterday in his retirement speech, a part that really stuck with me, I guess, is like him talking about, because he's definitely never let the bus thing go, right? Like, he brings it up a lot, I would say.
Like Earl Thomas,
exactly. Like, and he talks about how, Philly fans didn't like him for whatever it was, 2 years, a year, whatever you want to say. But he talked about how, like, it was hard for him to leave the house, and like his wife had to encourage him to get out and do stuff. And like, it was a really hard time in his life. And it's just crazy to think who he is now versus that Brandon, like
totally.
To picture Brandon, like the Brandon now, it's like, this sounds, I don't like whatever, but like, I feel like like everyone pictures Brandon smiling, right? Like, every image you see of Brandon, it's like, he's talking trash, he's smiling, he's doing this, he's smiling. And it's just crazy to think he went through a time in his life where it wasn't like that. And I feel like it's a good lesson to like everybody listening, but also just if you listen to that speech, like, even Brandon, who we have talked about for a while now, the nicest guy, look at these amazing stories. It's a great, he also has those moments where he is like really down and it wasn't looking like it was guaranteed for him. And I think that's what makes his retirement so cool, is like, he's sitting up there with 2 Super Bowl trophies. So whether you
Earl Thomas having been retired for like 5 years or whatever it was, for him to like come all the way around with the Earl Thomas thing. Like there is not a single Eagles fan who would ever want them to go back in time and draft Earl Thomas over Brandon Graham.
And
also a one-time Super Bowl winner Earl Thomas, two-timer for Brandon Graham.
And like, so I think it's an awesome story just about like perseverance and like going, like fighting through and like how, you know, even if it looks down now, like things can be better. But even to get back to the Reggie thing, not to belabor it, but like a point people make sometimes is like, especially with the Jalen and the Josh Hurts thing, people go like, Josh Allen would rather have Jalen's career, right? And I think that's a flawed argument in some ways. But I do think with Brandon, like, there's probably not another Eagle that you could point to that it would be like, I'd rather have that career than Brandon's. Like 15 years, 2 Super Bowl trophies. He went through the downs. Like, it was not easy for Brandon. Like, he talked yesterday about how like Doug Peterson in some ways like saved his career. Like Chip was gonna let him leave, gonna move him around. He comes back. And like Brandon did really have that same kind of resurgence Jason did. But to think about like where he was, to sit up on that stage with like his 2 kids, his wife, his family, and the 2 Super Bowl trophies, like talk about your ultimate just like amazing story.
And I loved him just carrying them around with him when like, he's just like going in to see the Eagles Staffers. He's got his 2 Super Bowl
and he's just like casually holding them. But the other thing too is 2 is really just so much better than 1. Like 1 would have been cool to see up there. Obviously 2017 will always be special.
I agree with you. 2 is better.
But it just is like it just
better than 2, 3.
3. No, I know.
Statistically, 2 is twice as good as 1.
I think it's more than
it's double.
Yeah, I think it's.
I will say I've thought a lot about
just like the visual of the 2 of them holding one in each
like
hand.
In the Super, and it's different thing, but like the Super Bowl record of 1 and 4 just sounds so much worse than 2 and 3. Like 2 and 3, you're just like you're in it.
Oh yeah, good point. I didn't think about that. Yeah,
1 and
you're
4,
right.
It's like, oh my god, we're never gonna get more than we have. Like now you're like, all right, one more, we're 500.
Well, and that's the other thing too. Like, so I put Brandon on my Eagles Mount Rushmore.
I
don't know.
I would too.
Yeah, I think so.
So you do you want to get into the Mount Rushmore? So you got
a
lot of crap yesterday, and deservedly so. I mean, I think the argument that you do not think about what happened before you is a fair argument.
I think it's a fair argument.
Like Chuck Bednarik probably should be on any Eagles Mount Rushmore. He did win 2 championships.
He did. Chuck,
he was a Hall of Fame player. Like he was basically Brandon Graham of that decade, of that time, and he played 2 ways on. Like it's like, and Reggie White, like I would put Reggie on mine. I get your argument more than with Bednarik, but you can understand how people when there's no one before Doc, it's like, well, what are we doing here? The Eagles were around for 70 years.
So this is where I was going to go with it before we get into the Mount Rushmore thing. Is while yes, I understand it's like, well, you have no one before the year 2000, like that's crazy. I think when we're talking about Brandon, we should also acknowledge like he played through the best stretch of Eagles football.
Well,
you know, so like
along with 60 and 40, like Chuck Bednarik was on 49.
No,
60.
I know.
It's like, so I
Super Bowl era.
But that's the problem, right?
No,
and I get your point. It's like you can say that, but you can't say that about Bednarik. Like Bednarik also played through a great era.
I agree. If someone wants to put Chuck on their thing, that's fine. I'm not going to fight. I do think Reggie, and again, no offense to Reggie, but like it is what it is. So like the career played out. Like I'd rather have Brandon's career than Reggie White's when you talk about like in a vacuum.
So the argument,
although Reggie won one
Super Bowl, the argument for Reggie is that he is without a doubt
he's the best player to ever
play in an Eagles uniform.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And it's hard to not put the best player to ever play in the uniform on the Mount Rushmore, especially when like the Packers thing, like I would call him an Eagle. I understand what you, and I thought your point with the NFL.com thing, they did a poll in the afternoon show and it was obviously Eagles. Like, I agree. I think it'd be closer. I agree. It's more of an even thing, but he was still here for a while. It wasn't like he was here for 3 years.
He played more games in an Eagles uniform.
So, and he's the all-time leader in sacks. And he's all-time, like he still has those things. So like, it's hard not to put Reggie on, but look, it gets tough with the Mount Rushmore when you get to like Dog and Kelsey and they're all these guys.
I think the Chuck thing versus Reggie.
I think Bednarik has to be.
So
I think for me, Bednarik and Graham, BG might be my top 2.
Yeah. So Bednarik again, and it's just he doesn't resonate with me the same way.
I
get all that. I can acknowledge that.
This is an Elliott thing.
I get that.
Like you don't like, or you're starting to grow a little bit, but you don't watch movies before 2000. You don't watch TV shows before. Like this is just kind of who you are.
But I think if we're just talking about Chuck, Reggie, and Brandon at this point, like Reggie had a lot of great individual accolades, right? Like Brandon won Super Bowls and like is an Eagle. Like he is Mr. Eagle to your point. Chuck Bednarik, again, not the Super Bowl era.
I think it's the same thing. I think Bednarik is
but that's
Mr.
why I think
Eagle.
Reggie is, while a better player, I mean, I don't know how to talk about Chuck as a player, but like a better player.
He's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
You could say, again, eras and all, but he was a Hall of Famer who played 2
Correct.
ways. So
I just think Reggie's a notch below them. And that's why.
As an Eagle.
Correct. As an individual talent. And this is where I'm going to circle back to the pre-2000 thing. Like, yes, you were right. The pre-Super Bowl era, that's like different for the Eagles, but they really didn't win much, like in the 80s or 90s. Whereas
no, but again, you're
2000
forgetting that
on,
prior to that.
no, I know,
Yeah.
but I'm saying when people bring up like Reggie, like besides
So
Reggie,
who was your fourth? It was Kelsey,
so I had Kelsey,
BG, Doc, and who?
I had Jalen because I think he's the best quarterback in
So
franchise
I think
history.
Jalen will be on it someday. I don't think you can put him on yet.
Yeah, I think that's fair. My
Yeah.
argument was mostly,
I think he's going to be. I think it'll age well. I think
Yeah,
Jalen
for
will
sure.
end up. He will be the best. He already is the best quarterback.
he's the best
in
quarterback in
and
franchise history.
he's going to win a lot more. Like I do agree with that. I think ultimately it will be Jalen. I think it's probably too early to put him on, but I get it. I don't think it's like
Yeah, so
insane thing to
the
do.
too early thing, I agree with. Like, if I was actually etching it in stone today, like you could convince me off Jalen. But the counter argument to your point is, I think in 5 years, Jalen will
I
probably
think he'll
have
be on it.
another Super Bowl,
Yeah.
maybe 2 more Super Bowl appearances. Now, you never know.
Love it.
Like,
Look at this.
it's
Let's
just
go.
true. Like, I don't like.
You're preach, buddy.
Yeah. So if
It's our Tom Brady.
and I do think there is something about
Yep.
being the best quarterback.
Tucker just made a face.
I think there's something about being the best quarterback in franchise history. Like, I think it
agree.
matters
I
more
agree.
than being the best receiver, the best tight end, the best tackle.
Who are you talking to now?
Now, so I was thinking this yesterday. I think it's going to be hard for me to change my Mount Rushmore. Like, I don't know who is coming up. Like, maybe Saquon in 5 years. I'd be surprised just because I think his career will be-
To your point, is a giant.
Yeah, well, that could change. But you're right. No, you're right. There is that. Lane is the one.
Lane it probably is. Honestly,
'Cause
in
Lane
reality,
was-
and I did this with the Super Bowl. Remember, after Super Bowl, we did the whole BG, this and that. And then, like,
Right.
the day after, I was like, we didn't talk enough about Lane. This guy's a two-time champion, too. Lane is probably the most underrated Eagle of all time.
I agree with that.
Right? I mean, like,
Because
he's better than Brandon.
and he's honestly better than Kelsey.
Yes.
I mean, Lane, you want to
Probably. Kelsey's
I
the
think better.
6th time. So it's hard to judge. I think it's a more important position and thus a tackle, harder position.
I think. Well,
But like Kelsey's one of 3 centers in the history of football to make 6 first-team All-Pros. History. Ever.
right.
All of them. Like Kelsey is a top 2 or 3 at his position in the history of the sport.
And
Lane is not. Now, Lane might be a better player, but like it's hard to say. Like Kelsey's one of the 2 or 3 best centers
Now,
to ever
let me ask
play,
you this, though.
statistically
Do you think
speaking.
it's harder to be a top 3 tackle of all time?
Well, that's
than-
the point.
right. So
exactly.
I just think Lane, and I'd have to look back, but off top
Lane,
of
it's
my,
a harder position.
I just don't remember
it's one
any
of those
down
things where-
years.
I think it's one of those things where I think like
I guess he got suspended.
accomplishment-wise and stuff, you can argue Kelsey is better. If they did a draft, Lane would get taken ahead of him 1,000
Yeah,
times.
that's right.
You know,
And
so
I
it's
also
like, how do
think
you look at it?
Lane, I think like Brandon and Jason are like above everybody else. And I guess Dawkins would be there just in terms of like connecting.
Yeah,
Eagles,
without a
right?
doubt.
I think Lane, though, is in between Fletcher.
Oh, without a doubt. He
You know,
connects
like-
more than Fletch, but he hasn't like
It's not
fully-
the same as Kelsey.
Yeah, and he's a right tackle.
but he
It's
has a
like-
great personality. He
Yeah.
does talk. He goes out to events.
He's really entertaining.
No,
When
I
you meet him,
agree.
He's super likable. He's really nice.
But here's my question. Like, I guess for you it would be Jalen, but like, is Lane on your Mount Rushmore? Because I don't.
No,
I think
so
he's
my
like-
Mount Rushmore would be Ben. Like, and again, this is hard. I think it's like Bednarik and Graham for sure. Kelsey and probably Doc. It'd be
think
Doc or Reggie White. Like those are my 5. Like if I had to boil it down, like again, Rushmore is tough. But that's the point. Is Lane probably should be elevated that group. It's
Well,
just,
here's a question for you, and let's be clear before we start this discussion. These are all fantastic players. We're talking about the top 8.
yes,
Okay.
exactly. And I do think again, I think in 5 years, Jalen will absolutely
Yeah.
be on my Mount Rushmore.
Do you think the Eagles making all these Super Bowls has hurt the early 2000 Eagles and in a way Dawkins? Because like
Mm.
Dawkins for a
No,
long
that's really interesting.
I
from
don't
a
have-
legacy standpoint.
yeah, like Dawkins.
Yeah,
was-
bit.
you probably still see more Dawkins jerseys than any other one at the legs.
Yep.
Like, but he didn't win a Super Bowl.
No.
And while he is not a Bronco, to be clear, like he did play at a decently high level. Like I think Brandon and Kelsey have like without question passed him, and more
As the Eagles.
well, yeah. Well,
And like I know what you mean.
yeah. Brandon won't make the Hall of Fame. So,
Brandon won't come close.
Yeah,
to it.
you're
Brandon
right.
will not get a Hall of Fame vote.
although you know,
And Brian Dawkins is a Hall of Famer. So it's like that's the level. It's hard. Like Jason Kelsey, Hall of Famer. Brian Dawkins, Hall of Famer. Chuck Bednarik, Hall of Famer. Reggie White, Hall of Famer. Lane Johnson, Hall of Famer. Brandon Graham, nowhere close.
so I didn't read it. So this is like a blind. It's like what's
And
the,
I have Brandon on mine, so I'm
the
not like,
BLG thing of like comment on something before you read it. Or
oh,
whatever.
it's great. It's
Yeah,
that
that tweet, it's
rules
like-
for the internet or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
It's like rule number 1, don't read the article. Rule number
Yeah,
2,
exactly.
comment on the article you
So
didn't read. Or
Joe
whatever, yeah.
Giglio, who has been doing an email thing, sign up, but tweeted out this morning. I didn't get a chance to read it. Something like Brandon Graham's unique Hall of Fame case, like not talking about Eagles. And
He
look,
doesn't have one.
no, I mean, I agree with you. I think Joe Giglio is really smart.
He
and good.
is.
So I'd be curious to hear the argument. Maybe
Yeah,
I'll
I'm
hear it.
intrigued to see it. But
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
like,
but
let's be
I don't
real.
think he is going
Yeah,
to make that.
he has no chance.
Yeah, I
I,
agree.
again, I doubt he will be like he won't. I don't think he'll ever be a finalist.
I
Like,
agree.
I don't think.
I agree.
All right.
Although, then we'll move on. I think like if guys like, well, Phillip Rivers and Matt Ryan for me are career accumulators, but they were obviously better at their height.
Yeah, they were bad. I mean,
Like if
Matt Ryan won
Brandon's
an MVP.
right, Brandon's a career accumulator.
Yes.
Like
yes.
those
But
two.
he was never as great as those guys, and
Yeah.
obviously a much harder.
Did make a more impactful play.
Sure, he's got a. I'd rather his career
Yeah,
than those guys.
yeah.
Minus the, I'm sure like 10 times more money those guys make.
Yeah,
But that's
yeah.
all separate. All right. Well, I want to finish up on BG. I want to get into the Becton thing too, but Mike Quick, Seth Jr. Look at that. Talk about all-time Eagles. Jody Mack, Mark Zumoff, Rob Ellis, Joe
Maybe
Conklin.
we'll hear
us.
Yeah.
This crew here, James Seltzer, Ellie Parks. We are the Bet Parks lineup. Even if your team doesn't score, ours did. They will. Got a
It
good
was
offense
also
moving forward.
silly to see the Super Bowl trophy with the score that's not 40-6.
Oh, it's so dumb.
It really
they beat them
is,
46. It is what it is. There's always another way to win with the Bet Parks app, the online casino and sportsbook app. Obviously, you can bet on all kinds of sports. There's sports action coming up next week. MLB over-unders. We'll get them out a little earlier in the week than Thursday, so you can place the bets before opening day.
Yes. It's crazy. It's next week.
It's crazy. We got some March Madness stuff
Yeah.
to talk about, all kinds of good stuff. We'll dive into that. But in addition, you got a casino right in the palm of your hands. You can play blackjack, craps, roulette.
Baka, 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 right. Baka, 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 baka. Bak, 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 bak. Bak, 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 bak. Bak, 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 bak. Bak, 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 bak,
Hold on. All right, hold on. Is it so kiss me?
Yeah, there you go.
Beneath
There you go. That took a while. It took a while.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to disassociate I have to not listen to you saying Baccarat and just listen to the melody.
Tune, yeah. I think I'm good. I think I'm good at
dude,
it.
You're great. You're
Yeah.
doing great. I notice it always takes me like a minute or two to get that.
Yep. And once you're in, you're good. So Tucker, just out of curiosity, does the chat ever guess?
Oh, it's a great question.
Sometimes they do.
All right.
Start guessing, chat. Why
yeah,
are you
just
even
curious to know.
you
Maybe
know?
chat versus James.
Who can get
gets
it quickest?
first?
Someone
Yeah.
in the chat will get it.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, it's a lot of people versus
Yeah.
But here's the thing: you
Not
can
that
play
many.
all those games.
What's that?
All the
It's
casino,
off season.
that's right.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
the action of a casino right at your fingertips. Play online slot games like Squid Game, Breaking Bad, Peaky Blinders. Ted, have you been watching the new Squid Game season?
New Squid Games.
Squid Game season 2 came out
Oh,
a
dude,
while back.
Yeah, did I watch it? Yeah, of course.
Oh, I didn't.
I watched it within 4 days of it coming
Did you?
out. By the way, I have a TV show recommendation.
Ooh, okay, good. I'm excited. Breaking Bad, Ted, based on your favorite streaming shows and movies. New users, great deal for you. If you sign up now, you can download the Bet Parks online casino and sportsbook app. Get up to $1,000, $1,000 casino bonus back if you're down the first 24 hours. Casino bonus must be wagered. See betparks.com for the details. You must be 21 and in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Maryland, or Michigan. Gambling problem? Call 100 Gambler. Elliot, it's March. Weather's changing.
It's madness outside.
But for real, it is. It's like one day it's 40, another day it's 60, the next day it's 30. Like, what the hell is going on?
Well, it also, I will say, as much as I'd prefer the sun to go down earlier and be up earlier, it
stays warmer out.
The thrill of a 5:30 go out
is pretty good.
Is nice.
It's pretty good.
Meeting friends. Yeah.
Here's
I haven't
the
done
important
it yet,
thing, though.
but it'd be cool to do.
Because of the weather changes.
Maybe
I
one
haven't
day.
done it yet.
Yeah, maybe one day.
A critical time to check the status of your home's windows. If they're cracked, leaking, won't stay open, it's time to go Window Nation.
Yeah. So look, I'll ask you how your windows are, but we know they're doing well because finally you got them.
Shout out to Bill.
Yeah, and Emily for making you do it.
Well, yeah.
If you're tired though of frigid
I wouldn't even
draft,
have windows in my house. I would have an empty house.
Well, here's the thing too. What's changing now is we're talking about frigid drafts coming in. Now it's more like keeping your AC in the house, keeping the frigidness in the house.
It's important.
So if you're frustrated,
we're frustrated.
If you're frustrated by higher and higher energy bills, it's time to call Window Nation.
All right, brace yourself because this won't seem real. But right now, you can get 2 windows free for every G buy. No big deal. Right?
Yeah,
I mean, that's like a nice little deal.
That'd be a good box.
Here's what's bananas. 0 down. No payments or interest for 2 years. You get Windows installed one day and not pay anything until, get this, 2027.
Crazy.
How about that? It's
that doesn't feel like a real year.
Imagine what you could do with the extra money. You can invest it. You could buy something that's going to make you money. There's so many things you could do with that. Plus, guaranteed for life. No big deal.
I saw a tweet yesterday that if you were 25 when the millennium happened, you're 50 now. Isn't that crazy?
Well, that's not that crazy because I was 18 when the millennium happened, and now
I don't remember.
I was actually 9. I was 19.
Because I was 13.
I was 18. Yeah, 99. I was 18 when the millennium happened, so now I'm 43.
What a overhyped event in retrospect.
Unless you went to see Fish play for 8 straight hours.
Yeah, well, I just mean,
No, I
the
agree.
idea that something
Y2K.
big-
Yeah,
exactly.
I agree.
What a racket. But hurry up. Because
time is a construct, my
yeah,
friend.
it really is.
Yeah.
Sale ends March 31st, so don't miss out on your chance to take advantage of the buy two, get two free and pay nothing until 2027. Schedule your fast free estimate right now at 866-90Nation or visit windownation.com.
All right, last thing on BG, and then we'll get to Becton. Congrats on nailing the high five at the end. I thought.
I'm not gonna lie.
I know
No,
there
it was
was a
actually at the
lot of
beginning.
discussion.
It was
It was
at
the
the
beginning. I
beginning,
didn't know.
yeah.
I just saw the GIF of it.
Yeah, it was when he walked.
I know there's a lot of discussion in the afternoon show.
I thought I nailed it.
You did great.
I mean,
Honestly, you did great.
it could not have gone better. For
No,
me.
it was perfect. It was,
You want to talk about
it was
too,
quick.
like,
It was like ba-bum.
it was powerful. Like you could hear it, which I was
So
surprised
I
by.
didn't hear the part.
Okay, yeah,
I
you
just
can-
saw the GIF of it.
Yeah. So it's also like, just personally, it'll be cool in like 10 years to look back and be like, the day BG retired, I got to like,
Look at
shake
that.
his
That's
hand.
me.
Yeah, it's a
right
cool
there.
thing,
No
yeah.
big deal. To
Exactly.
Elliot.
I nailed it. No big deal.
Yeah,
I
you
did nail it.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm not.
I know you do, but I'm just letting everybody know that when I think I did it. There is no debate.
Yeah, for once, I think it's just no debate.
Unanimous.
By the way, are you going to win Insider of the Year in this
I guess we'll find out.
stupid thing that I
Find out at 4:30. I will say
no
thank
offense,
you.
the afternoon
Thank
show.
you
I
to
think
all
it's a
the
great
Go
show.
Birds. Yeah.
I just think we have an insider here. His name's Elliot Shore Parks. He should win it every year. It should be the Elliot Shore Parks Insider of the Year award.
Here's what I'll
just
say.
saying.
though.
Do you want to just take the trophy? I have it in my desk.
I've
been hiding.
Is it a big trophy?
No,
Yeah.
it's the opposite.
I
I
will
thought it'd
s-
be funnier if it was like really.
It would be,
It
yeah.
was like this egg. Yeah.
I will say though, if I'm not gonna win, Tim is the person I would pick to lose. to.
Yeah.
You know, like I
agree.
can
Tim's
I
great.
can take that. Like
you
Tim
know,
is
like,
unbelievable.
And
like
Tim's also like I've known Tim
yeah,
for
great guy.
15 years.
Now
The best guy in the world. He used to take me out for drinks when I was starting my career to like help me.
Yeah.
And so, Tim's an awesome
and
guy.
just good at his job.
and
too.
he's very good.
Now here's a question: do you think Tim knows about it?
No.
I was thinking of texting him good luck today. just to see
You
see
should.
his
That'd be
res-
really
Should
funny.
I text him now?
Yeah, do it right
and
now
see
on the
his
pod.
response?
I love this. See if he responds. Shout out to Tim.
All right, ready?
And then after, if he responds, say James says hi.
I will. Good luck.
And
I'm just-
Tucker.
Should I just put good luck today? No other comment?
No other context. And just
Or
see
should
if
I
he
put
knows.
like a little heart or like an exclamation point or just good luck today?
I'm fine with that.
Or like, may the better man win.
no,
I think
that's too
I'm just gonna put good luck.
It's
today.
very funny, but too much.
Yeah, I'm just gonna put good luck today. We'll see what he says.
bang. Just see
Okay.
what he says. All right, so we'll get an update. All right, let's get to Mekhi back.
Yeah.
We haven't talked. You did the daily pod on it, obviously.
I did.
I'll be honest with you. Like, I've been pretty cool with what's happened to CJ GJ trade. I didn't love when neither of us did as we reacted in the moment. Nice to see we got the reads without the CJ trade happening.
Yes.
To throw.
Good point. Well,
Yeah.
last time it was
Yeah.
the. Oh no,
Now,
you're
Tucker
right.
did
Yeah.
text us. Fred Johnson is gone.
Yeah, you want to
So-
talk about it?
No, that's
right.
fine. See you, Fred.
Okay.
Appreciate everything you did those couple times you came to a game.
I think he goes
Except
to the
that
same-
one game we gave up like 11 hurries. Or
Yeah, it was not good.
But like of all the moves, this is definitely the one where I was like, what the bleep? Like 2 years, 20 million. Like
Yeah.
I know, you're going to say, and you're right, that they're the guys who watch him every day and they like these other guys and they have Jeff Stoutland and all that. But it's just like, you had a chance for a small amount of money comparatively to keep together the offensive line that just went for 2,000 yards. Like,
Yeah.
it's just like, we talk all the time about continuity, the most important thing for an offensive line. Like, it just, all the other stuff, I get it. I'm not giving Milton Williams $26 million a year. I love
Yeah.
him. I think he's a good player. I'm not giving Josh Sweat close to what he got. I'm not giving any of those guys what they got. Like, I'm fine with the Oren Burks 2 for 5 was, weird, but he probably
Yeah,
wanted
but
to start.
honestly,
He
like,
probably wanted to start somewhere.
yeah,
Like,
exactly,
whatever.
yeah.
Like, this is the one where I'm like, what the hell, man? Like, why don't you just open up the book?
So
2 years.
I think it's the perfect example of like just whether you just want to trust them blindly or not.
Mhm.
Because I do agree with you. Like I would have matched it. I think keeping the same 5 together is important. I think I think we joke I have a good read on wide receivers. I feel like I can read an offensive lineman's personality.
You're
well.
very good at it.
Yeah, like Becton's a star. Like I can see why he went in the top 5 and especially or whatever.
11.
Yeah,
But yeah.
he's like
big-
he was a high pick. Just being around him with the Eagles, like this dude could have been the unbelievably great right guard for 3-4 years, right? So like I would have matched it, and also he's 25.
Yeah.
Which
that
is
was the other
crazy.
thing. It makes no sense. Like he's about to enter his physical peak.
And they must really think he can't play tackle because in theory he could play tackle.
Sure. But I will say, I think the contract he got says the NFL doesn't.
Yeah,
think
he
can
did
play
not get a lot of money.
He got nothing. That's why, again, if he had gotten 3 for 60 or 3 for 50, even,
right.
I'd have been like, you know what? little rich. I get it. 3 for 45. I'm like,
Yeah.
$15. Like I'd sign him, but like
the
I
20
get
million number is just small, and I haven't even seen how
Nothing.
much it was guaranteed.
Yeah,
Like it could be
I'm
very
sure it's
little.
not 20.
Yeah, no, it's probably 11.
It almost never
12.
is, right?
Yeah, exactly. Although I saw somebody's side, I think it was this cornerback from the Texans.
Stingley.
89 of the 90 million are
Good
guaranteed.
for him.
But it's just funny, like
Why
not
why
that-
not just guarantee?
Yeah,
the 90?
yeah, like
just say fully
cheap
guaranteed.
organization. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think with Becton, like they must obviously just not think he's as good. That's
Clearly,
really the only way
that
to
is
put it.
And they clearly think that
Maybe the injury history is part of
well,
it.
the trade, the Kenyon Green, they think they can rebuild him. They like Tyler Steen, I guess, more than
I think they like Tyler Steen as a low end starter, high level backup.
Sure,
I think
which
it's how
I think
they
is what he is, and that's fine. But like again,
there's the draft.
I definitely, Howie, and I said this before this move, and in general, like that I am willing to give Howie grace. I'm willing to trust Howie. He told us it was going to look different. Like I get it. I'm fine with it. I get it. But like I'm gonna remember this one.
Yeah, this is a risk. Now, and the other reason where it's like I get we just can't blindly trust him, but like then it's also Stoutland. You know, so
which is kind of
I am sure Stout. I would be very surprised
if Stoutland said keep me.
Yeah,
Mekhi,
I really think
I think they would have made it work. I agree 100%.
And also Mekhi really wanted to be.
I know.
Like I think Milton Williams and Joshua, excuse me, would have liked to come back.
Waiting for the Eagles to match. Like
I
that's
agree.
why it took so long.
I 100% agree with you. By the way, you saw him in the airport. Remember we talked
about
leaving or going. You could have really seen if he got on an LA flight. Now he could just be going out to LA. You know, I thought it was funny. So T. Higgins and Jamar Chase signed their deals, and they both fly in on a private jet like to Cincinnati. And it's like I know players leave for the offseason, but it's just funny to think like they're like, yeah, we're not in Cincinnati.
No,
like, we'll come back, but like
Yeah.
we're going to leave again. Like the private jet, just chill for a few hours.
Yeah.
Look, I think last year I was talking about learning from my mistakes. Last year I questioned the offensive line in training camp and it ended up being amazing. I think that I am somewhat out of a point of I'll believe the offensive line sucks when I see it.
I trust Jeff Stoutland. And look, they do have 4 of 5 that we like.
Correct.
So
they
like,
have 4 unbelievable starters.
It's not the end of the world. Like
it's
I
just
think
weird.
It can be fine. It's just like I just would have signed him. That's all.
Well, you know what's interesting too about Howie? He values the Lions a ton. We know that. But like he has never paid an edge a ton of money. And then the Becton thing seems kind of silly not to match. So I don't know.
An interesting point.
Yeah, like I would have signed it, but maybe if I sat in the meetings with them all year, I would be like, I actually wouldn't.
Yeah, I think the Stoutland part of it, where it's like, I think that if Stoutland really desperately wanted to keep Becton, I think they would have kept Becton, and that does make me feel better about it.
Yes,
but
you never know. Like they can think,
and it also feels a bit too like with like it wasn't the straw that broke the camel's back because I'm not like broken. Like I'm still like good with what they're doing, and I trust them, and I still think they're going to be a really good team, and they have a great roster. But it felt like the move where it's like, after all, CJ, did we lose all these guys?
I know it was. I think
it was like no, like that's all he got.
He was another emotional point. You know, like I think Bond, obviously, people really want it back. CJ came out of nowhere, so it was hard to even process. But like, although we did do a live pod, but
you're right.
yeah, you want to hear us try to process it? Yeah, you can hear it. But I think Becton was like fans really wanted him back guy. Really quick about Fred Johnson, and I'll talk about it more on the Daily Pod. But
I think that's the forum to talk about.
I do think Darian Kennard is going to be the guy, like the swing Fred Johnson.
Okay.
Yeah. I think they had him all last year on the roster. Also, I'll say this about Darian. Good personality.
Okay.
Like he strikes me as like could be good in the NFL.
So is there a possibility our guy Trevor Keegan step forward?
Well, that's a name we don't bring up. You know where
he's our guy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like
maybe
they just got rid of Becton. Like I know he didn't play last year, but like
the fact no one's brought him up makes me think they're not even like they're not even leaking. Like, hey, don't forget about Keegan.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I agree.
I can't bail on him yet.
I mean, Keegan, talk about star potential.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's a Point Breeze guy.
All right,
or at least goes to that deli.
You're right. All right, let's get to final thoughts. Unless you got something else. We got another pod.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything else.
Okay.
Man, I have so many good ones.
Yeah, I got a lot.
Well, first, let me recommend a show for you. And this isn't gonna be fun. Dude, Adolescence on Netflix is unbelievable.
Yeah.
So first of all, and you'll appreciate this, each episode is shot in one take, like with the camera just
wow.
So
like
it's
Birdman.
It's essentially, I think there's maybe 1 or 2 times. Sure. Is that
it's a movie that's all one take.
Yeah.
With Michael Keaton. Yeah, one Best Picture.
Yeah. Sounds
pretty
like
cool. It's actually almost all one take. It's all one take, and then there's at the end.
Yeah, so I think it's maybe 1 or 2 moments, but like it's unbelievable. And like the kid that's in it, it's the first time he's ever acted. So you should just watch it. It's really, really good.
Mm.
And I think I appreciate it more after knowing it's all one take. I didn't realize it at the time when I was watching.
Of
Like,
course you did.
there are little parts where I was like, wow, they've been in the car for like 15 minutes, but it's unbelievable. You should watch it.
Okay.
Okay. So actually, I'll use this final thought. And here's how you want to know I feel this very strongly.
Mm-hmm.
I had it written down on my final thoughts 3 separate times.
Wow. I can't wait for this.
I hope I haven't said it to you. Okay.
Just possible.
It's the same TV one, but I'll say
By the way, that is I've done that. I've done a final thought again. Like I always am.
Yeah,
like,
it's hard. Well, I try to move them down.
yeah,
to,
I
like,
do too. But then it just becomes a thing.
Dude, have you watched The Americas?
The Americans or the
No,
Americas?
The Americas. It's like a I don't know if a documentary is the right term, but it's on NBC. It's an hour each week about like the Americas, like nature. Like it's like essentially like a nature documentary, right?
Narrated by Tom Hanks.
Narrated by Tom Hanks.
Okay.
Dude, Tucker, listen up. It is the most visually pleasing show I've ever seen. Like, I honestly have been watching this multiple times and been convinced it's computer animated. The shots they got of these animals so close. Like, honestly, you need to watch it. I want everybody to watch Adolescence because it's good, but you all need to spend a half hour at least watching The Americas.
No, isn't it any different from like the National Geographic
no,
stuff?
but other than the fact the shots are way better.
With
the
cameras
colors,
I'm sure there's other things that are, but I get your point.
Like, but I'm saying for me, what stood out about it is just like the quality of the animals, like the quality of the shots they got of these animals are, dude, they had a close up of like, I think it was a bee. I was looking at this like,
yeah, they have amazing cameras now that they can take that from far away.
Exactly. And just like you could see almost like, I don't know if bees have pores, but like, like the pores, it was, I can't, everyone needs to watch it.
I'm really happy.
Yeah. Like it is. I can't wait to watch it this Sunday.
Okay, good.
And it's not even that interesting.
It's just like just shots.
Yeah, it's just shots. Now, I also think what could be good is like you could watch it with Zoe.
Oh yeah,
like I think
it's not enough action for
2
Zoe.
birds, 1 stone.
No, not enough action for Zoe.
Dude,
Zoe needs stuff happening.
There's a little bit like fights and animals dying and stuff.
Right. All right. I mentioned A Complete Unknown made me think of a final thought and never got to it, especially because last week you just bailed on final thoughts. You're like, no final thought.
Well, they just
I can't handle it. They traded
What's
CJ
Complete Unknown again? Oh, the Dylan.
So the Dylan movie made me realize, and I know you were not into the music.
Yeah, I think it's aged poorly.
Yeah, horrible take.
Yeah.
It made me realize how many Dylan songs I knew, and I didn't realize quite how many. Like, if you had asked, like, so have you ever thought about making a list of like, not literally make it, but like the bands with the songs you know the most
Tim
of?
Responded, by the way.
Oh, we did. Okay,
Yeah,
good. After this, we'll get to that. That'll be the end of the bot.
Yeah.
But the like, how what band have you ever thought about? Like, what band you know the most songs from? Like, you have to know the song. Like, if you heard the song, you're like, I can name the name of the song. I know it. Have you ever thought about it? Because I think about it a lot, like in terms of like Zeppelin and Beatles and all that stuff. Like,
so I think this is not going to surprise you. I think there's probably like 10 artists I know pretty much the same amount of songs. Although,
how many songs do you think you
I
know?
would say for Kanye West, I would say I probably know the words to almost every song for his first like 5 albums. So that's a high number there.
Like that'd be like 60 songs, 70 songs.
Yeah, but for me, it's not a high number. Overall.
So I went through. I know 197 Fish songs, and that's just not including their covers. That's just original Fish songs.
When you say,
and I went really quickly, so it's probably more. I was kind of like going like,
first of all, it's crazy they have 197 songs.
Oh, they have way more.
Yeah, no, I know, but that's a lot of songs. When you say you know a song, are you talking about?
I'm saying like I could sing the
words.
That's
what I mean. Not like you recognize.
No,
it.
I could also be like, this is a song called this. This is a song called that. Whatever. Like I know what song.
Right. I would think second. I just think there's a lot of guys like Jay-Z. I guess I would know a lot of.
It's
Spice
just a fascinating
Girls.
thing I've thought about. Like I think Zeppelin would be pretty high. The Beatles would be really high on my list, but there's no one close to Fish. The Grateful Dead.
John Legend. I know a lot of.
I do not.
I'm a big John Legend.
Are you?
I'm a big piano guy.
Okay,
I love
the piano.
It was after I watched Ray Charles. Surprisingly, I got so into Ray Charles.
We should just start thinking of ways to like program Elliot.
Oh, it'd be the easiest
thing of all time. Watch this movie. Oh my God, this is
dude.
Great.
I'm watching The Americas. Like I need to quit my career and go be a nature guy. Live tweet.
You really are quick to like,
for sure, dude. Well, I was actually talking to my sister about
be all in on.
I remember I was watching Yellowstone and Jack was watching it. I was texting him like, I might just be a cowboy. Like I might like get a hat. Like screw this. Like talk about living out in nature.
You are something
like,
else.
Yeah,
you are something else.
Yeah.
So anyway, I thought about that. I wondered if you had like a known like this is the.
So
the
thought is you know a lot of Fish songs.
The thought is more just like what it is. That's true.
I know,
but it's more like the how many songs you know, but like who would be top on your list?
Who do you think's
top
2
5?
for you?
probably the Grateful Dead, just 'cause they have so many songs. But after that, I think the Beatles would probably
The
be
Beatles
three.
are up there. Although I think I know like 15 Beatles songs really well. I don't know how. Like,
I mean,
deep
I-
into the catalog. I could go.
I would think I would know like
Obviously
7 or 8
Queen.
Beatles songs.
More hits.
You probably know like 5 Queen songs.
Yeah, it's probably
Yeah,
fair.
I know
Yeah.
more. I know
Yeah,
more
yeah.
Queen songs than you.
I would agree.
Yeah.
More hits though. Like,
No, not more
larger
hits.
hits.
Actually, technically not more hits, but your argument
Yeah,
is that people hear
debatable.
them more. No, it's not. It's actually there's numbers to prove
It's a
this. The
good
Beatles have
discussion.
more hits,
a
but
good
regardless,
discussion.
yes, it is. All right, what did Tim say?
He said, "You too, my friend. Good pull on Aziz. That's the kind of momentum you want on your side as the voters go into the
So he
booth."
does know.
He knows. Yeah.
Tim's all locked in.
Now I will say he took like 10 minutes to respond.
So he might have looked
he
it
might
up.
have looked into it, but very nice as
Love it.
always. Classic. Nice
Tell him I
response
said
from
hello.
Tim.
Fucking love Tim.
I will.
Oh, curse. Oh.
God
there
damn
it
it.
is. There it is. There it is. I'll
If
say
someone deserves it, though, it's Tim McMahon.
I will say it's been a while.
I
Though.
didn't mean to. I just popped.
Yeah. Earmuffs.
Shout out to Tim.
Yeah.
All right. If you're on the YouTube, don't go anywhere.
Yes.
We got another pod coming. If you're listening to the pod, check out the other pod, which should be out soon. Until then,
Yeah. He's Elliot.
I'm James.
There you go.
Look at that.
I definitely think there's people that listen to the Daily Pod that are convinced my name is James.
Really?
I mean, you figure I've said at the end of every pod, he's Elliot, I'm James.
that's so
For
funny.
100. How many daily pods think I've done? 150?
That's so
I don't know.
funny.
I counted one day. Thanksgiving was 100.
Yeah.
That's
so
and that was
hilarious.
4
that
months
was
ago
pre
now.
Super
That's
Bowl
a
run.
great
Right.
one.
So
Yeah,
I
it was
honestly
3
might be
months
at 200.
I
think
love
we're at
the idea
200.
of you
Yeah,
confusing
every
people like
day. Because I mean, look, I would say a large amount of people that listen to the dailies
Listen, yes, yeah,
but-
that is very funny.
Do you ever get confused for other people? Like when we're out at like remotes and events?
like calling myself James.
No, like I had a listener come up to me the other day and call me Dan Wilson.
Oh,
Oh no,
I've had
I
people
don't-
call me Elliot Shore Parks.
I
I've
could
been
s- I could
confused
see
for
see
that
that
though.
too,
Yeah,
yeah.
I've
I
been
don't
take-
get
I've
that.
taken pictures as Jack Fritz.
wow.
See, here's the thing about having blonde hair and being like just you
A
just
normal
get,
guy.
yeah, you just
Sexy.
get mistaked for a lot of people. It's true.
That's
Like,
true.
I mean, we've been over this. We'll start the pod, but like I've been told I look like so many actors.
I know.
Like Leonardo DiCaprio, Matt Damon, Conor
He's
McGregor.
just flexing.
He's not an actor. Who's Matt Liddell or Chuck Liddell?
Chuck Liddell?
Yeah,
Oh, I can
I
see
get-
that.
I get
love
him.
it. I mean,
Yeah.
he's much bigger and stronger than you, but
Oh,
yeah.
I've been lifting. Although I hurt my knee.
Oh,
Well, let's start the. Yeah.
yeah, let's start. All right. Hey, hello. It is the Go Birds podcast presented by the Bet Parks Casino and Sportsbook app. So I don't even really know where to go considering the conversation we just let in with.
Well, also, yeah,
If you're not tuning in for the YouTubes, you're missing out.
you're missing out on
because-
the in between.
yeah.
Although we're just gonna repeat it.
Sure.
So, who do people say you look like? Oh, I think
I don't
obviously.
really
I
get.
think there's such a.
I get that I sound like Charlie
but I think
Day.
you look a little like
I
Charlie.
look a little
too.
that-
yeah,
but
like
I
enough
think
where
it-
the voice adds. to it,
Agree.
yes.
I think, but the look is more because of the voice. People are like, oh, and you kind of look like
I think
him
if
too.
you had my voice, you would still look like I'm a little.
A
I
little,
think
but
when you
people
add
wouldn't
the
say
voice,
it.
yeah.
The point is, I've never gotten told I look like any celebrity. I've
Right.
just gotten told 10,000 times that I sound like Charlie Day.
So I've
Maybe
got,
maybe 50,000.
yeah. I mean, you do. I
That's
don't know
my
what to
favorite thing.
say.
Once a week, I'll get a tweet. Hey, has anyone ever told you sound like Charlie Day? No, you're the first.
Yeah, you're the first
Yeah,
one.
Yeah,
I've only been
good for
talking.
pointing it out. Yeah.
I'm surprised. Like, I feel like you got to get him. There has to be.
I
Something.
know. Tucker could produce and get him on the
Yeah.
pod or something like
All
that.
right.
You know, no big deal. Ooh.
You produce your own show. First of all,
I don't get guests for my own show. It's a joke on
You
our
know,
show
it'd be
that I'm the
really.
worst at
You know, it'd
guests.
be funny. He would probably never do it, but like to do a pod
And just
me
pretend
and
that'd
him
be hilarious.
and like not.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
and not say anything.
Yeah.
And so the birds.
I don't honestly. I think I would notice just because like I
You
know,
would
but
notice.
also
I
just
think-
like the things
yeah.
you would say.
Yeah.
But like
People would notice by the way we talk.
it would be funny,
But
to
not
do
the
it
actual
if
voice.
like, is he an Eagles fan? I mean,
I
Rob
don't- I mean, I'm
McElhenney
sure he's
is,
got
like,
a part of him. I don't
yeah.
think he's. Yeah.
I think he's a Patriots fan. I think he's from New England.
Oh, boo.
wow.
Well, there goes that idea. No.
As much as I loved going to Maine, and I don't know if you guys know this, I went to Maine.
Yeah, you told us.
Like the Patriots are so far out from Boston. It's kind of crazy
45
to me.
minutes away from Boston.
Yeah, like, I don't know how you
I
feel a
know.
connection. It would
I
be like if
agree,
the
yeah.
Eagles played out in like
They didn't until they started winning Super Bowls. Like you talk to anyone
Yeah,
from Boston
like
who
the
was
Celtics
alive
are
in the
downtown.
70s and 80s, like when the Pats stunk. Like the Celtics and the Bruins and the Red Sox mattered, and the
Yeah.
Patriots were nothing until they started winning.
it's a good franchise, obviously, but like of all the great franchises,
Yeah, they're
I
the
think
Mickey Mouse of all
yes,
the great
agreed.
ones. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I don't know where to go from there.
Let's talk sports.
And gambling.
and gambling.
Yeah,
We're gonna do March Madness talking a bit. Elliot is super locked in. Like,
I do have a
I have a winner.
a thought about.
I have a
Cooper
winner
Flag.
pick.
Okay,
I have a team I think is the best team, and this is based on an
wow.
entire
Is it
weekend.
Temple?
They're not in the tournament. An entire weekend of watching college.
I also
basketball.
got a.
I watched it all weekend. I just want you to know. I watch all the tournament games. I'm locked in.
Okay, so I have a first forethought too.
Oh, good. That it's dumb.
You'll have to wait and find out.
Okay, I can't wait.
Yeah.
All right. But let's start with something you wanted to start.
Yeah, so I saw a clip on Twitter. I forget. I think it might have been a Emmanuel Acho show, but they were talking about who should
Not
be.
my favorite. Can I tell you that?
I'm a big Emmanuel Acho.
Are you really?
Well,
I think he's
'cause-
so annoying.
So when
I think he's so annoying.
when I first started covering the team,
and also he acts like he was like he was a practice squad guy. Like
Well-
he barely played, and he acts like, oh, I was an Eagle. It's like you weren't. I was working for the team then. You were like barely there.
I do
dude.
agree, not like an Eagle, but certainly bigger Eagle, Brandon Graham or Emmanuel Acho. But
Your brother was a better football player than
when
you.
I
Like,
first
what are we
started
doing?
covering the team, he was also like he was very nice to me. And
Okay,
so,
well that makes
yeah,
sense.
Like I was
That's
new.
a
and-
whole
yeah,
different
so
thing.
I think he's a very nice.
He was
guy.
actually kind of like whatever to me. Like he
Oh,
did
was
not
he?
like to
Okay.
do my.
That's
my
surprising.
I
feel like
you would
those
think,
guys
right?
are
You would
always
think-
into it.
Yeah, he was like a little big time.
You know who was big into
all right,
that?
dude. You're like a fourth string linebacker.
Fred Johnson. Big
Yeah.
into doing like the little fun
Nice.
games.
See, I love
and
that.
answering-
Yeah,
Yeah,
like John Dornbos.
Fred's a good guy.
John Dornbos would grab the mic from me and he'd be like, "All right, what do you need from me, man?" And then he would get player. If like I was like, "Oh, I really wish I could get Shady," he's like, "I'll get Shady." And he'd go
Yeah.
over it. Like there are people who are cool with that, you know?
Charlie Hewlett, the new long snapper.
Yeah.
Good personality.
Ah.
Yeah, good personality.
Do you find it weird at all that? And I'm sure it was Jake Elliott related and whatever. But do you find it weird at all that? They just
Yeah,
switched on?
especially because this guy's older than Rick Lovato.
And this, I mean, it's like not whatever, but like Rick Lovato is a 2-time
Yeah.
Super Bowl champion.
and
Here.
they gave him like a decent amount of money.
He's just like, all right,
it's got to be something.
it's got to be that Jake,
like, it has
Jake
to be.
and Braden Mann or whatever didn't like
Yeah.
his snaps or
Now
whatever.
here's what's got to be tough. Like
It's just weird.
obviously when a player is changed, like I'm sure he looks at his teammates a little like, oh, that sucks. Like I feel like with Rick Lovato, he has to really feel like, man, Braden and Jake must have not thought.
That's
I did
it.
good.
Like
you know, like it's two other
Michael
guys.
Clay and Michael Clay. I guess you look at those three and be like, well, they
But don't you think if Jake Elliott would have been like, no, like
Oh, yeah.
I want
think
Rick
they would've got-
Lovato
for,
to be
for this position. I think they would have given. Jake
I
whatever he
agree.
wants,
Yeah. So I feel like there's got to be a little part of him that's like, come on, bro. Like, we're
Yeah.
friends.
It is. I doubt there will ever be a 2-time champion in this city who is more unceremoniously just gone.
Yeah.
Like no one. Like honestly, we mentioned it for the first time in the morning show today, and Joe was just like, "Yeah, they got a new long snapper." That was it. We're done.
Yeah.
We're done. Like this guy's one of 4 people to win 2 titles as an Eagle.
He
I
was
mean,
the second
2
or
Super
third
Bowls.
longest tenured Eagle.
Crazy.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
Anyway.
Emmanuel Acho.
Yes.
And he wasn't even on the clip. It was just that channel. But regardless, here's what regardless. So they were talking about who deserves to be the favorite in the NFC.
Well, deserves. It's easily. If we're just talking about deserves, it's the Eagles. I mean,
So,
what are we talking about here?
I do think I agree with you on that. I think the Eagles have the best
So
team.
just so people know, while we're talking
Your
about it,
thoughts on
the
that part.
odds for the NFC are the Eagles are the favorite at plus 300, the Lions at plus 400. Then it takes a jump to Washington at plus 700 and tied with them in the most nonsensical thing of all. I mean, if I could bet against
the
something, it's
Niners.
the Niners. If I could bet against something,
Well, also like the Niners are borderline tanking.
dude, I don't think the Niners are going.
Like I
I
said,
think the
Brock
Niners
Osweiler.
might come in last in their own division. Like,
Yeah.
I think that
There's a world where
the
that
Niners being there is absolute asinine.
So if we just remove the Eagles helmets, the Super Bowl trophy Go Birds logos, I do think the argument against the Eagles is it's hard to get back. So while I think they have the best team, and I do think there is a true difference between losing the Super Bowl and winning it in terms of the impact on next
Massive.
season. Like I do. But like, I mean, who's the last team in the NFC to go back to back? I'm trying to think.
I know, but I get it in the NFC, but we've seen an AFC team do it like 10 times.
I agree,
you know,
but
like
the-
it happens every year.
And I'm just
practically.
playing devil's advocate here because I do think the Eagles are the best team. But we, and correctly, have said like the Niners won't be back, right?
No,
Now,
but
I know
that's
they
'cause
lost. I know they lost.
There's a difference. We kept saying the team that loses the Super Bowl and giving all
But the
those
reason
stats.
we say that is because
Seahawks
of
went back to back.
okay, what year was that?
13 and
13,
14.
14.
Okay, so
yeah.
it's been like 10 years. That's not that long.
Not that
Yeah.
long, especially considering that both the Patriots and Chiefs have done it, even if it's not
And then I
NFC.
guess the Packers would have done it early on in the,
Mhm.
at some point in the 90s. So it happens like once every 10 years.
Yeah. So honestly, we're due.
The Seahawks, that's when we're talking about.
We're
Seahawks.
due.
Yeah.
We're due for the Eagles.
Good
We're
point.
due
Actually,
for an
10
NFC
years
team
out.
to go
I'm
back
gonna
to
look
back.
that up.
How about
If
that?
it's been every 10 years. So I think the Eagles probably deserve to be favorites, but I do think you have to bake in there a little bit. Just like it is hard. Like it is.
But I get it.
They're fighting something the other two teams are not fighting.
I get it. And if they were in a different conference, I think it'd be a much better
I think
argument.
the conference is tough.
I think the conference is not tough. I mean,
Okay,
the AFC
wow.
is way tougher, don't you think? I mean,
No,
like,
the AFC's tougher for sure.
well, I mean,
Yeah.
more in the sense that, like, look, so I think the only team you can say, if we're just talking deserve, like straight deserve, not like let's actually look at the teams and say who we think is the best
Right.
team. like if just these initial odds or whatever, I think the Lions are the only one you can even mention as deserves. I mean, the Eagles just whooped Washington in the championship game.
Oh, I think
Rookie quarterback.
Washington deserves to be top 3.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah, okay.
We're talking about deserves to be number 1 is the discussion we're having. Who deserves to be the favorite in the NFC? I don't think you could put Washington in the same class as Detroit and Philly, just in terms of deserve.
It's an interesting question though, because
they were both better.
Well, I'm just saying, like, Detroit was better, but Detroit did lose in the playoffs to Washington.
The Eagles put up 55. Like, the point is, you can't put Washington. Like, do you think Washington deserves to be
No,
the favorite?
I don't think Washington.
Right, so they're out. Okay, so it's the Eagles or Detroit in terms of who deserves. And I think you could make an argument for Detroit, but if we're talking about like the Eagles went to the Super Bowl, and that's one thing. Detroit lost both.
Yeah, I think Detroit's a step back candidate.
I agree. So that's my point. Why I'm saying, like, I'm not saying the Eagles are definitely winning.
But that's
the NFC,
why I might put Washington ahead of Detroit.
Regardless,
yeah,
the Eagles deserve to be the favorite in the NFC. Just if we're talking about deserve, they might not win the NFC, but they absolutely should be.
Read the numerical odds again.
It's plus 300, then plus 400 for the Eagles in Detroit, and then it's plus 700 for Washington.
See, I would
also have to bake in with Washington the fact they're in the division with the Eagles, and that
right. So one's going to be a 5 and one's going to be a 1,
part of
which is part of it for sure. So if I were making the odds up, and we'll just use plus 300 as a starting point, I would do Eagles plus 300. I would do Washington like plus 500, and I'd probably go Detroit like plus.
So I still think I would put Detroit out of Washington. I get your point, but
the Jaden Daniels thing, you don't know. Like, is he going to come back?
I mean, and I think,
but they are kind of running it back.
But
like
every year, we do this every year with the quarterback. CJ Stroud.
No, you're right.
You could not be more in on a quarterback than CJ Stroud than we were a year ago.
For sure.
You know? So 100%. Like, I just rein it in, everyone. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking like rein it in a little bit. And then on top of that, like, I just think that, I mean, Washington, I think, still has stuff to prove. Like, they were a horrible team for 30 years and then had one good year last year. We're like, Washington.
Yeah. No, I agree.
So I just can't. I don't think they've earned that.
I think they've had a good offseason.
Like, they could, sure.
Yeah.
They've not earned this type of status.
I agree that the Eagles have earned it.
Yeah. And we're talking about deserve, like deserve and earn go hand in hand. Right?
Yeah. And we talked about this, I think, maybe after the Super Bowl. But I do think the Eagles have earned the right to be like chief status.
That's my point. Yeah, they're the big dog.
Yeah.
And they might not win it. Like, we know how hard it is, especially going back, but they deserve it. Now, quickly, before we talk about
I have one more question for you, actually. Do you think the Eagles roster, like, because I feel this one, I think you'll probably agree, but I think it's interesting to look at it. Like, do you think the Eagles deserve to be favorites right now based off their current roster, or are you baking it a little bit they are going to add? Because I think as currently constructed, they're the best team in the NFC.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, even if they're starting Keeley and they're starting Sidney,
they can make zero more moves, and I still think they're the best team in the NFC.
I agree.
Yeah. Okay. I will say, though, I think in terms of, as I look at the betting odds, I think the two best bets on here, because there's no long shots you think could win the conference, right? Like, you're not
at the Packers.
Well, that's where I'm going. They're not a long shot. I'm talking like
I don't know how long. Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm getting to. I think so. It's those 4 top teams: Eagles, Lions, Niners, and Commanders. I think the next 2 teams are your best bets. We're just doing betting.
Okay.
The Packers at plus 900 and the Rams at plus 1,000.
Well, the Rams, the defensive line,
Davante Adams to replace
so
Cooper Kupp.
I'm not a Davante Adams guy at this point.
Well, compared to Cooper Kupp, I think I'd rather have Davante.
I think they're like the same guy.
Cooper has not been good.
Davante, I know he's with the Jets,
still
but
like when I watch him, though, he doesn't feel as diminished. Either way, the point is he's still good. The point is, like, they didn't lose anything.
You know what's crazy? I almost feel as good as, like, when I think about the Rams Super Bowl odds or conference odds, I feel just as good. Like, their defensive line is what makes me feel good.
Sure,
their defensive line is unbelievable.
So plus 900 plus. I think those are the 2 best bets.
Where are the Vikings at?
The Vikings are plus 1,800.
So my Vikings argument would be this:
if they sign Aaron Rodgers,
no, I think JJ McCarthy's a winner.
Yeah, but
I'm just putting that out there.
Again, we saw the best rookie quarterback in the history of the league, and he got to the NFC.
No, you're right. I don't think they're going to win. I don't think they're going to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
but plus 1,800.
But that's what we're betting on here.
No, but they were a 14.
My point is, I don't think 1 out of 18 times, maybe 1 out of 18.
I mean, they were.
I just don't think it's amazing odds, but I agree with you. Look, they should be higher. They're tied with the Bears.
Also, a quick Aaron Rodgers thing. Is there anything sadder than the Giants potentially ending up with Aaron Rodgers?
It's the best.
But not only, like, look, if he would have picked them, that would have been demoralizing.
Yeah,
but the fact that he's like, no one else wants me. He's like, all right, I guess I'll
I'm not joking when I say this. I don't think I have ever wanted a player to sign non-Philadelphia version. I don't think I've ever wanted another team to sign a player more than I want the Giants.
Oh, it'd be
the best thing.
There was a clip of Malik Neighbors. He was like with Jaden Daniels and who's the receiver I like that at Jacksonville? Brian Thomas.
Brian Thomas, yep.
And they were somewhere, and Jaden Daniels was joking about how they went to the playoffs, And Malik Neighbors was basically like, I wanted to get out of there anyway. Like he wasn't like, oh, we'll be back next year. It was like, yeah, I was happy it ended.
Well, I mean, just Malik Neighbors like clapping for like.
Oh, Malik Neighbors is gonna be so gone. Like he can't wait till he can force his way.
He is dying to leave New York.
Last Aaron Rodgers things, and we'll get to the March Madness. Yeah. I honest to God don't know if there's another quarterback that was in the NFL last year that I would pick Aaron Rodgers over.
Oh, I agree.
Third string, second string,
Aaron
practice
Rodgers
squad.
is not touching my team.
Yes, I agree. I think it is like
0. Nope.
Like him and Deshaun Watson. Like Deshaun Watson would be the one that I would.
Yeah. I forgot about Watson.
But like outside of him,
I agree. It's a great point.
Like I would literally give up a second.
Yeah, I'd rather
to have Tanner McKee.
I'd just rather
Rodgers.
lose for a year.
I agree.
I'll just throw Gardner Minshew out there or whoever.
Yeah, and like good news, you're gonna lose with Aaron Rodgers anyway.
Well, that's true too. It's just gonna be a much more ugly.
It is crazy. He was 9th in passing yards or something like that.
It's awful.
No, I look. Trust me, I agree.
All right, we're gonna get to March Madness in a second. But first, Mike Quick, Seth Joyner. I'm nervous now, but Baccarat.
Well, it's hard to come
we've really made this hard on ourselves. Jody Mack, Mark Zumoff, Rob Ellis, Joe Conklin, and us, Ellie Parks, James Seltzer. We are the Bet Parks lineup, and even if your team doesn't score, ours did. There's always another way to win with Bet Parks because obviously you can bet on all kinds of sports action going on. We'll have MLB over-unders next week. Basketball, we're about to talk about heading into the NBA, the playoffs, all that stuff. We're locked in on the NBA this year, obviously here in Philadelphia. But in addition, you got a casino right in the palm of your hands. Play games like blackjack, craps, roulette.
Baccarat. I don't know if that was cheating, actually.
You are crushing it. You're so good.
This is not my best one. It's a tough one. Do you know it?
I don't.
Hold on. Give it to me one more time.
Baccarat.
I know this song. It's killing me right now.
I think this might be.
This might be the one.
Yeah. I don't think it's my best work. I'll be honest. I think I see why you missed this one.
All right, what is it?
Oh, Darling by the Beatles.
I was gonna say it's a Beatles song.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Yeah. You were close.
I knew it was a Beatles song, but I want to sound like an idiot.
Yeah. I don't think I did the best job, but it's.
I'd be like, Baccarat.
Yeah, see, I think that's a little better.
Baccarat.
Yeah, exactly.
Baccarat.
By the way, you missed, when Maniac Malloy did the pod, I did the national anthem, and he started doing it halfway through like this.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, classic Maniac.
I like that.
You just never know.
Big salute guy. I like the salute in public. Like if someone lets you cross the street or whatever, give them a big salute.
Yeah,
I like
a good
one. So in addition to all those games, you can play hot online slot games like Squid Game, Breaking Bad, Peaky Blinders, Ted, and many more based on your favorite streaming shows and movies. New users, great deal for you. You can download the Bet Parks online casino and sportsbook app and get a $1,000 casino bonus back if you're down. In the first 24 hours, casino bonus must be wagered. See betparks.com for the details. You must be 21, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Michigan, Maryland, Ohio. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. As I'm going quick there, I always like say butt parks instead of Bet Parks. I got to work on that.
I mean, you still do a good job.
Thanks, buddy.
No problem.
Thanks, buddy. All right, let's talk some March Madness. I know you said you're.
I got two thoughts.
So you said you spent what 4 or 5 hours yesterday just breaking down the tournament,
Just all
checking in net ratings.
Yeah,
You're all up Ken Palm.
Sure.
Big Ken Palm guy.
Whoever that is. Yeah.
You know it for real though. You know Ken Palm.
I don't.
Ken
know.
Palm, right? Oh, he's like the rankings that everyone uses now.
Oh,
It's
is
like
he?
the
Okay.
Go-to rankings for college.
I'll be honest.
basketball.
Like I've lost interest in. Now this is different, but like.
Yeah, I like the tournament, but everything else I know.
Yeah. So
Like, again, I know Cooper Flagg, and that's like the guy I know.
here's my two thoughts. One,
and that Florida has a guy who's 7'9".
yeah, well, I did see that guy. That
Pretty
dude-
nuts.
dude's
7'9",
tall.
dude.
Yeah. I don't. Now you know me. Like we've had similar discussions about this. Like I am more in, as you know, more people making the playoffs, right?
Yes,
Yeah. Like so, I am pro expanding the field. The first 4 is ridiculous. Like
Thank you.
it is. It just
Yes!
it cheapens
We've
the whole.
got him.
Just
We've got him.
Just put them in
Yeah.
if you want them
And make
in.
it
And then the
16,
dumb part where like 2 of them play for a 16 seed.
Oh,
2
I
of them
know.
play
It's
for
like
an 11
it's
seed.
so dumb. So it's
Like-
like you're not the last 4. What about the other like 16?
Yes, correct. You are actually in the tournament.
Yeah.
Like
Well, the 16 seeds, it's super unfair for because they win their conference tournament. They are supposed to be in the
I
tournament.
agree.
Like the 11 thing, that's fine. I get in the sense that
Obviously, I
it's
didn't
an
know that, but
at-large
yeah.
team. But the 16 seeds, like those teams win their little whether it's this or the Sun
It also-
Valley or this or that, whatever. They win their tournament. You're supposed to be in the
I
tournament.
agree. I also think like the first day where March Madness starts is like a cool, fun thing. I think this cheapens that a little bit too.
Yeah,
I would
a
actually
little bit.
compare
Not as much.
not
But
as much.
I agree.
I
It's just-
compared a little bit to what you were texting about earlier with the baseball.
It's nonsense.
Yeah, like so that's my first one. Here's my second one. Should Cooper Flagg play in the tournament, or after hurting his ankle and knowing he's gonna be number one,
Is a
you
great
think he
take.
should sit out?
I mean, he should probably sit out.
Now the
right?
issue is, like, I think he will go number one no matter what.
I agree.
Whereas my CJ Stroud take, where he shouldn't have played in the championship game or whatever,
If he
like,
got
or no, he
hurt.
should have been happy he lost the, like, like they lost to Clemson, I think, right? Like,
Yeah.
I think that was good for CJ. You should be happy
Or was
about
it?
that.
Yeah, it was one of those games. Yeah.
But like, I don't think it was definite CJ was going to go number one. Cooper Flagg is going to go number. I honestly think he could tear his Achilles today, and he probably will go number one. I think
Achilles. If he tore his ACL, I think he's allowed to go number one.
ACL.
Achilles
Yeah.
a tough injury, but
Yeah.
yeah, for a basketball.
I know he just twisted his ankle, and I don't know if I were him.
yeah, I know.
I don't
It's
know
hard.
if I'd play. It's tough.
Yeah, it is a tough spot.
Yeah.
We're in that.
So those are my two thoughts.
It's a good one. It seems like from an actual
It
betting.
seems like Duke's really good.
So it seems like the 4-1 seeds are just way better than everyone else.
Yeah, that's the
Seems
vibe
like
I
one of
got.
those years, and the odds back it up. I knew going. So what I really knew about the tournament was that I like Florida a lot. I think they're awesome.
Well, it's fun that Florida is good.
Florida's
They're a
damn
fun,
good. I watched
program.
both their games this week in the SEC tournament,
They
and
look
like I
good?
know it's just they looked awesome.
Mm.
Like against Tennessee's a 2 seed and was like almost a 1 seed. They
Shout out Justin.
shout out to our guy. No offense, Justin. They dominated Tennessee. Like it was
Yeah.
like looked like men against
And
boys.
not many dominate Tennessee
Yeah.
basketball.
Tennessee's good.
Yeah.
They're a 2 seed. So I think Florida's really, really good. But listen to these odds. This is what blew me away. And this is why it's like, I think Florida's going to the tournament, but if I'm betting on someone else. Listen to this. All right. So Duke is the favorite at plus 290.
Okay.
Florida is second at plus
That's
330.
really low odds. for
Yes.
a
So
64
listen,
team.
just listen.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Duke plus 290.
Okay.
Florida plus 330. Auburn, another 1 seed,
Apparently also
plus 540.
Okay.
And then the fourth 1 seed, Houston, plus 650. The next best
Can I
odds
guess?
in the tournament. Yes, it is
I'm never gonna
Alabama,
guess
who's a
this
2
game.
seed, but
Okay.
take a guess. Plus 650 is what Houston is.
Plus 1,000.
Plus 2,200.
Wow, that's pretty crazy.
It jumps to
That's
plus
pretty crazy.
so the 2 seeds are plus 2,200 for Alabama, plus 2,200 for Tennessee, plus 2,500 for Michigan State, plus 2,500 for St. John's.
Now you know what's
and then we
funny?
plus 3,000. And look, those odds make sense for the tournament. Like it's harder, but like the fact that the 4-1 seeds are plus 290, plus 330, plus 540, plus 650, and then it jumps to plus 2,200.
So when I
What is that?
when I
I
guessed,
don't even know how to like come. I basically feel like I should pick all 4-1 seeds in my bracket. Like,
yeah,
what's
honestly, just put $100 on each. But
what are we doing?
I'll be curious how those odds would work out. But
Probably not great.
well,
I mean,
yeah,
because
if
if
Duke wins, you're
or
yeah.
Florida, you're
Yeah.
losing on the top 2. So maybe
but
don't do that.
When I guessed plus 1,000, I will say I did guess a little lower because I wanted to be able to make your point.
Sure.
But I would have at most guessed like plus 14,
Right.
Which is crazy.
insane is that?
Yeah, that's
So I don't really know what to make of that. Like I like Florida. I wouldn't bet. I think you bet per game. I think it's probably the more fun way to do this.
So I think
anyway.
you should obviously bet like, one of the top 3 teams that are plus 2,200 or lower.
Mhm. Yeah, clearly.
Yeah, like, there's, like- I mean, although I will say like plus 400, 500 odds for a champion is not bad.
if you really
It's
think
a
they're gonna
future
win.
odds,
but
but it's
I
not
agree
that
with you. Like
because we're gonna know in like a month.
Tennessee, Alabama, Michigan State, and St. John's at plus 2,200, plus 2,500 as 2 seeds.
Yeah.
Probably good bets. I don't
I
know. I'm
agree.
not. I like St. John's. I'm happy
Name
they're
the
good.
4 teams again. Let's pick one. Should we have an official team? of
Duke,
the
Florida,
tournament? No,
Auburn.
the 4th second ones.
Oh, I like that. Well, it's got to be Tennessee then, right?
Oh
Alabama,
yeah, you're right.
Tennessee,
Although
Michigan
Tennessee's
State,
got
St.
smoked,
John's.
I don't know.
So I actually like St. John. Like
I was gonna Rick Pitino, right?
without knowing anything about these teams before I did any research, which again,
That's how
big
we do it.
weekend of
They're a New
research.
York team, right?
Yeah.
There we go. That's cool.
I wanted to pick St. John's. I think it's
All right.
fun. They like it brings me back to my childhood.
Tucker,
the
you
Big
know anything
East,
about
with, like
this?
Chris Mullen and like when I like St. John's used to matter when I was a kid. Like
The
St.
Red
John's was a
Storm.
great. Yeah, they were a
All right,
great
so
team.
is St. John's our team?
Let's go with St. John's. I like that.
Any
The
thoughts?
Bronx.
All right,
Yeah.
there we go.
Shout out to the Bronx.
Boom.
We love it. St. John's, our official team. Now, if Tennessee wins, we're cool with that. We'll claim it.
Great song, by the way.
Yeah. Rocky Top, you talking about?
Jenny from the Block.
Oh, look at
Great
you.
song.
Big J-Lo
Love
gal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that song had
that
the
was such a sincere.
How many J-Lo songs
Yeah.
can you name?
probably 5, I would
Oh,
say.
I can name none until
My
Jenny
Love
from the
Don't
Block.
Cost a Thing.
You
The
don't
One
have
with Ja Rule.
You don't have to.
Jenny from
You
the
don't-
Block.
You don't
You
have
just, is it actually called The One?
No,
or is it the song with John Rule?
I'm real. I should have saved that for Baccarat.
I don't
You would
know.
have never got
I would never got it. I
Yeah.
like the Ja Rule one with Mary J. Blige, maybe, or the
Rainy Days. I'd be
the one-
surprised. That's a deep cut.
Want to see about you. I don't
think
know about
about
you.
you.
That's Ja Rule, right?
Yeah,
And that's
no,
definitely
it
with
is Ja Rule, but I don't think that's Mary J.
It's not, but it's with a
No.
girl,
Yeah,
right?
dude, that is
That song's a banger.
all-time aux
Yeah.
chord song.
I
Like if
wanna
I'm
be
at a
about
party and like or in an
I wanna
Uber
be about
quickly.
my baby.
Yes, everyone loves that song.
That song's great.
When the beat drops, like everyone sings it. Yeah.
When-
Although, you have
Who
to
is
know
it
the
with
words.
her? I'm intrigued to know who the woman is with it.
It's
Mary J. Blige.
I think
guess not.
is it Little Mo? It's hold on. I'll look it up.
You don't actually have to look.
Nah, well now I'm curious. Now we're not gonna. Oh, you're just doing "Put It On Me," but I
Put
don't
It
know.
On Me. Yeah,
I
that's
don't know.
what
That it says featuring Vita, so I guess that's
Oh,
the
okay.
girl.
Put It On
Yeah.
Me is the song though,
Yeah,
for sure.
great song.
Put It On Me. Yeah, that's a good one. All right.
I think the tallest. So we'll talk about like the tallest building in a city or like the tallest building in the world. I think the tallest point of a building should be considered the last floor of the building. Like all this, like you just put like a huge stick at the top, and it's like, all right, well that one's the tallest building, or like like the last floor is how practically tall the building is. At that point, it's not really doesn't matter. It's much taller. Like yes, your roof is like super tall. Like who cares? Like the tallest point should be the tallest floor of the building.
You feel very strongly about that.
I do.
I
Well,
don't.
because like the Comcast building in Center City,
I
it's
don't
just like
know.
this huge like stick at the top, and it's like, oh,
But they
that's
all have that. It's not a
well, I
stick,
don't think
it's
it.
like a
I know whatever it
transmitter
does,
or whatever.
yeah. I don't think
yeah.
it should count. It's not part of like.
But it is.
It is technically.
We're
agree.
not saying what's the highest floor in the world. We're saying what's
But I
the
think that's-
tallest building.
But then
it's part of the
then
building.
they could just make that the stick thing like an
But they
extra 20
don't.
feet.
But they don't. And I like all the tallest buildings are in like Abu Dhabi now anyway.
Right.
So
I'll be curious to know what the ties. Here's
well,
how
it's the Burj Khalifa or whatever is the tallest building in the world.
now obviously people
Or it
could,
was when Mission
people could
Impossible
mess with
was
this,
made.
but I think the tallest building should almost just be known on who has the most floors. Now
Well,
part of that is
I
obviously
I think they're one and the same now. I think it's so much bigger than everything else. It doesn't
right.
matter. I think it's
I just think it should be the tallest. Like the last floor is as tall as it is.
I don't agree, but I don't feel strongly about it.
All right, fair enough.
All right, tallest building in the world. Hold on.
It's in Dubai. Isn't
I
it?
was right. Burj Khalifa. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I said.
How tall is
Yeah.
it?
It is
Does it have a picture of it?
2,717 feet. They do have a picture of that. Is it right there?
Again, look at
thing
the
on the
stick
side.
at the top.
This
I'd be curious to know where the last point of human is in that building.
where the last one. Well, people have you never seen the picture of Tom Cruise on top of it before? It's a very
No.
famous picture. You should look it up.
Is it a real picture? Like
Yeah,
he went
Tom
to the
Cruise,
top of that?
Well, yeah, they filmed Mission Impossible on it. Like one of the Mission Impossibles, Fallout or Rogue One. Or
Do you think you'd be nervous?
Yeah. What do you?
Well, just because I always think about this with reality shows.
So it's
where-
way taller than the second biggest one. It's almost 500 feet.
I'll be curious to know again where the
Almost
the stick
500
is
feet
compared to-
taller. That's
but
crazy.
I always think this with reality shows.
So it is the One World Trade Center is the the
Yeah.
new tallest building in America at 700 feet. This building is almost 1,000 feet taller than the.
Wow.
That's crazy,
Again,
dude.
how much of it's a stick? But yes,
I
that
think
is.
in that case.
Yeah,
they
at
win.
that point,
I think they
sounds
win
like-
all.
I
the-
agree.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah, I got a final thought. All right, quick Zoe one.
All
right. So when we were coming back from Clearwater, there was the red moon. It was like the day before the blood moon and the blood
Also,
moon.
I'm shocked you haven't brought up the delay on the flight.
I did.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
actually,
yeah.
I'll get. That's good. I have a final thought about that. Okay, so good.
Yeah.
It's related to. It's
Okay.
not the delay, but that was awful. But it was so
Yeah.
long ago. Like we didn't.
No, I know, but
Yeah, but I mean, don't put people on a plane and then make them get off. It's not
Yeah.
that hard. But I was pretty chill.
you
But,
were. I will say.
Yeah, I was. But Zoe, so we saw the blood moon on the way to the airport, super into it. She looks at me and she goes, Dad, I have so many questions about the blood moon. How does a blood moon get created? I think ketchup gets squirted on it.
So honestly, I would be curious to know the answers to this too.
know.
The blood moon's just a
I
red
looked
moon.
it up and it's not as interesting as you thought. It has to do with the positioning of the
Wasn't ketchup.
sun. No, it wasn't. It was the
Yeah.
sun and then the haze that is created
That's
through
pretty
the atmosphere. Yeah.
Pretty underrated thing that. Well, never mind. I don't want to say it out loud. I'm not. I'm not sure it's true. Well,
Just go.
the sky is blue because of the water, right? Like, isn't that why? Like the reflect. Isn't that why?
No.
Never mind.
I don't even know how to go on.
I'm happy you clarified the red moon wasn't ketchup. I always thought like the reflection is why. No, okay.
I mean, I don't really know
Are
why
you
this guy's.
sure?
moving, but
Are you sure I'm not right
it's
about
that.
that?
I just Googled it just to make sure.
Yeah.
It's like
I'm
a kid.
sure it's
Kid
not
folklore.
I'm sure it's not. That.
Sunlight interacts with
Yeah.
air
I
molecules,
figured it had something to do with it.
and it scatters the light,
All right,
and it
fair enough.
becomes blue because the
Oh,
blue
I
light.
guess it's not that crazy.
What
then.
about cities that don't have water?
I just
What's the
figured.
reflection?
Well,
You
and
think
I was gonna say the water's not even that blue. So like it is.
I wasn't 100% sure, but I knew it wasn't.
Look up the sky's blue because of the water and see what comes up.
See what comes up, please.
Yeah.
But I will give an airplane one.
Okay.
This check-in thing is
Oh, here we go.
it's out of control. Like, okay, so you could like do it 1 minute after 24 hours, and you're like group 8. Like it's like
I agree.
we got all these people who get to pay for this and the like enough with all of this.
I mean, you know how I feel
nonsense.
about. I just go in with group 4.
It's you should.
Yeah.
Honestly, after having to do it and do the whole thing, like
group 3, I'll do occasionally.
it is
but
such a ridiculous
I agree.
way of doing things.
I
The
100%
whole
agree.
setup, planes are so
You know what it should be?
impractical.
You
The
know
way
what
they do all this.
You know what it
stuff.
should be? The first person that gets to the gate, you take like a ticket.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's like a deli.
It's like
counter.
a deli
Yes,
counter.
Yes, that's what it should be.
That's yo.
That was my idea.
I'm giving you a
Thank
sticker
you.
of it. This is for you.
Saved myself from the.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You redeemed yourself.
I think that's
quickly.
what it should be.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's
Because it's also unfair. Like if you're in the, your bag is probably going to get checked. Like, and that's
you
why
get screwed. I had to check my bag twice, and it's like fine.
I got to
whatever, don't
stop
have to
saying
pay
I
for it,
board
which is
early
good.
because eventually
Someone's gonna be
yeah.
like, "Yo, Elliot's boarding
Well,
early."
you know what I always think I'll go is I always like, oh, I'm always group 4. My bad.
So easy.
Thank you.
You got it, and it's worked every time.
Yeah.
All right.
Did you see about the sky blue?
Oh yeah, sky blue thing.
I searched, is the sky blue because of the ocean? And the first answer is the sky isn't blue because of the ocean.
There we go. Glad we got that
Oh,
clarified.
that was so good. As soon as
Yeah.
you said it, I was like, "Wow, that is
Yeah.
really
I
good.
knew I shouldn't have said it.
That's the hardest I've laughed in a while."
It
So
was
thank
good.
you.
It was good.
All right, we'll be back next week. Until then, he's on.